Learning about Galaxies by Sahar Hamid and Christina Lowe. How are galaxies formed? Galaxies are collections of stars, gas, dust, and dark matter held together by gravity. Their appearance and composition are shaped over billions of years by interactions with groups of stars and other galaxies. Using supercomputers, scientists can look back in time and simulate how many have formed in the earlier universe and grown into what we see today. Galaxies are thought to begin as small clouds of stars and dust swirling through space. As other clouds get close, gravity sends these objects carrying into one another and knits them into larger spinning packs. Subsequent collisions can sling material toward a galaxy's outskirts, creating extensive spiral arms filled with colonies of stars.
There are three main types of galaxies: elliptical, spiral, and irregular. Two of these three types are further divided and classified into a system that is known the tuning fork diagram. When Hubble first created the diagram, he believed that this was an evolutionary sequence as well as a classification.
Spiral galaxies have large, bright bars of stars and material cutting across their center sections called barren spirals. A large majority of galaxies have these bars, and astronomers study them to understand what function they play within the galaxies. In addition to bars, many spirals may also contain supermassive black holes in their cores. Subgroups of spirals are defined by the characteristics of their bulges, spiral arms, and how tightly wound those arms are.
Elliptical galaxies are roughly egg-shaped, found largely in galaxy clusters, and most elliptical contain older, low-mass stars, and because they lack a great deal of star-making gas and dust clouds, there is little new star formation occurring in them. That's why that's where stars are formed, is spiral galaxies most commonly. Ellipticals can have as few as 100 million to perhaps 100 trillion stars, and they can range in size from a few thousand light years across to more than a few 100,000.
Irregular galaxies have an irregular shape. Irregular usually don't have enough structure to characterize them as spirals or ellipticals. They may show some bar structure, they may have active regions of star formation, and some smaller ones are listed as dwarf irregulars, very small to the very earliest galaxies that formed about 13.5 billion years ago. Where in galaxies is star formation occurring? Star formation regions are all concentrated in the disk of a galaxy. Within the disk, we see a lot of clusters of dust and gas. This is where we start to see the formation of young stars. Also in this region, there is an emission line nebula, which is called the H2 region. In this specific area, young stars and dust accumulate together to fully develop the star. In other words, it starts out as a confined disk that slowly starts to spiral outwards.
A few years after Albert Einstein had developed his famous theory of general relativity, in 1915 he applied it to the entire universe and found something remarkable. The theory predicts that the whole universe is either expanding or contracting. There really isn't any other alternative to have. The universe staying statistic is a pencil balance on its point, possibly but very, very unlikely, and not liable to last for very long. In 1929, the astronomer Edwin Hubble measured the velocities of a large selection of galaxies. He expected that about equal numbers would be moving toward and away from us. Instead, he discovered that almost all galaxies are moving away from us. Since the time of Hubble, we have observed millions of galaxies with better equipment and verified his results. With the exception of a small handful of galaxies come close to us, every galaxy is moving away from us.